Kezia, what the fuck's going on? Welcome.
Hi, thanks for having me.
My pleasure. Got you a little snifter of whiskey there.
I appreciate it.
I will be the only one drinking on this podcast.
I will be sniffing away, though.
You're more than welcome to. If some of it evaporates, I need to pour more in there. No problem. As I am professionally banging a mic 10 seconds into the fucking episode.
Have you even started drinking yet?
No. Believe it or not, folks, not drinking all the fucking time. Perfectly sober now. We're going to change that right this second.
Little does everyone know that you have like a Camelback like pouch and you just have like in your earphones like a little whiskey thing.
See, I can't get away with those kind of shenanigans anymore. Like, we're on video. They got proof.
Oh, yeah. If it was just audio, you could get away with that so much.
I mean, they're not a sponsor anymore, so I can tell the truth now. There was a liquor sponsor that was a sponsor of the show for quite some time that they hadn't sent me product in a while, and we were like, oh, and we're drinking, and then I was drinking whatever the fuck I was drinking.
Oh, damn.
Once we got into video, I'm like, well, unless you got send me more product, I can't be like, I'm drinking this.
Yeah, they should keep you loaded. Like there's bottles in the back type thing.
They're not a sponsor anymore, so.
Well.
It's a shame. It's a shame. It's a goddamn shame.
I love that I took the plastic off my kombucha and was like, oh, I don't want to make noise as I'm like ripping my hands.
Someone's into the ASMR. Don't worry about it.
Perfect.
The Velcro's coming off, folks. Oh, shit.
That I don't have my nails done. I could do nail tapping just during quiet moments. For the real freaks.
So have you been enjoying your time in LA so far?
Yes, I have been so much. Yeah, I think I'm like midway through my trip now. Yeah.
What all you been doing since you got here?
So I technically came down here for medical treatment. I'm getting like acupuncture stuff done every day that I'm here.
Isn't sex medical treatment?
Right? Well, I was just about to say it turned into that. And then I was like, well, might as well film every day and, you know, really get the blood flowing and get all the warm energy that my doctor's talking about. I was like, okay, I need to see some dicks. I need to fuck some pussies. So
I can't imagine any acupuncturist that's worth seeing being like, no, you shouldn't get laid.
Right? Exactly. Yeah, I love telling my chiropractor, like, I blew my back out this weekend. Like, sorry, you're going to have to extra crack it a few bits.
Hey, chiropractor even blink?
I think the first time they were like, what? And I was like, and they were like, oh, okay. Oh, you're serious there. And I'm like, yeah. I think they thought I was just like joking or something. And I'm like, oh no, just being honest with my doctor. No big deal.
Get your Theragun ready. Like fucking put in some work.
Right. I even had to get my own Theragun because I'm breaking my back out every weekend.
Oh, the worst problems to have.
Right? God, the career life. My bad.
Like, so sore from all the sex I'm having. Oh,
I know. I'm always like adjusting my hips and I'm like, God, I always have to keep my legs spread open. Fuck.
There's other positions you don't have to.
I know, but people love that. Like, it's like everyone's favorite.
That's true. The viewing audience, at least, I can't speak for the rest of the viewing audience. Me as a viewer of the adult films, I do like to see, female genitals. I do.
And you get like all of the like beautiful bits. You get their cute little face. You get like their tits. You get their little belly. You get everything. Like,
right?
Oh, so cute. Sorry, you can obviously tell I've just been like fucking babes the whole week because I'm like, that's all I can think of right now.
Oh no. What a horrible life. Horrible things going through your mind, just all reliving all these horrible moments.
Right?
The agony of it.
Nightmares. I woke up this morning, first thing that came into my mind, filming yesterday, me pushing a dildo as another cock is going into her pussy. And both of us are just like fucking her with and that was like my first thought waking up this morning. And I was like, this is the life.
As the dude, that doesn't sound like it would be all that super comfortable.
That's what I thought, but he liked it, I think.
Cool.
Yeah.
Not a hard day at the office for him, so.
No, not at all. Tying us up, fucking.
It's just one of those things where it's just like, I don't know. I'm, in my personal life, not into the idea of like DPing, like dick to dick DPing someone.
I was always wondering about that, yeah.
I'm not here to kink shame anyone who's into that, like wants to see it on film or anything like that, but not my cup of tea.
Oh, yeah.
And the idea of like, I'm assuming probably a silicone-based toy.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, rubbing against.
It was soft though, so okay. I think that's why I was even like, I can understand it. Like it felt like skin-like even. Yeah. So I've even like met dudes that are like, I love the feeling of another dick and me like shoving it in holes, but I'm not into dicks. And I'm like, that's hot too. I love that everyone's into different things.
I think you're in denial by not being into dicks at that point. I think you're a little in denial.
You never know.
I'm not shaming you if you are. I think you just should be honest with yourself, bro.
Oh, no, yeah. But I think so they were explaining it to me as they loved the extra stretching out of the pussy that gave.
All right.
Yeah. So once they said that, I was like, oh, fuck, I get your fetish now. Okay.
So yeah,
Okay.
I want a pussy to fucking grip.
Right? I know. I'm like, the tighter and tighter and like.
Like, I want to feel like, oh shit, can I pull out if I want to?
Right? Yeah. Yeah. I like to say that that's the problem that most people feel with me, especially because like the more rounds I go, like the tighter and tighter I get. It makes no sense. But I know it's the worst problem to have though, right?
I know your partners must be so fucking upset about it.
I know, right? My husband's just busting loads all the time and
He's just like, I bet the minute you come home from work, he's just like, oh yeah, you're primed to go.
definitely. Yeah. Or when like he comes home from work, I'm just like, I'm wet, ready to go. Let's just all night. Let's go.
Long day at the office, honey. Here you.
Exactly. Yeah. I think the favorite nights though is probably when I pick him up from work and I'm already like naked or like dressed in almost nothing. I'm just like, yeah, we could start having fun now already.
Good problem to have. Like,
Right?
hey, you have to drive because I'm about to.
Exactly. Or I'm like, I'll drive and you can just have fun with me.
Yeah, I'm not sure I want to distract the driver that much.
Okay, but what about, so you wouldn't do roadhead?
I mean, I have.
That's okay. So I'm scared about that more than fingering because if my mouth is down on some guy's dick, I don't see what he's like driving around into. And like, at least for me, a lot of the times guys throw their heads back. So when I see them throw their heads back, I'm like, who's keeping an eye on the road? What's happening here?
You got to invest in a Tesla.
Oh, fuck. Oh my God. I think that's like the number one reason I should have a Tesla. Self-drive so I can suck some dick. Oh yeah. Did you ever see that Pornhub video? Oh my God. So there was a Pornhub video that like a chick was like riding a dude in a Tesla on the freeway and it hit like 5 million views in like a day or something. And like it like I remember it like hit like not news, but it hit like some of the news that was like, these are the problems with Tesla's self-driving things. People are having sex and like, yeah.
That's a problem?
I know, right? I was like, so look over and see fucking in a car. That's kind of hot.
Right, as long as like these things happen. We all got here from it.
I know, I was gonna say, like, pretty sure even before Teslas existed, I was always just seeing that anyway. So
If
makes
you got a
it
problem
safer.
with it, if you got a problem with it, keep your eyes on the fucking road.
That
Look ahead.
too. That too. Or down on your cell phones like everyone is in LA.
This town is so unsafe for driving.
It's like that. I'm in Washington and it's like that too up there. But it might be a little bit worse here, yeah.
Well, we just have more population density, so
Oh, that's true.
statistically,
100% true. Yeah. When we were like flying over and we're flying into LA and it's like literally just rows of homes. I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot how many people are in California.
yeah, especially LA. It's there, almost 30 million people in California alone, and most of it's down here.
In LA, yeah. Like I remember the whole like Northern California, Southern California, we're gonna become different states fiasco that happened like 15 years ago or whatever.
Apparently, that's been going on since like the state was almost formed. Like originally, there was a referendum that passed to split the state into two, like in the 1800s,
What?
and then like the Civil War broke out, and Congress just didn't deal with it.
Damn. Why wasn't that in California history growing up? That would have been cool.
I don't know. I'm a transplant. I just
Oh, you didn't grow up here?
Nope.
Where are you from?
Chicago.
Oh. How do you like this compared to Chicago?
I've been here a decade. I would never go back.
Oh, damn. Okay.
Like if I die without dealing with another real winter, I'll be okay.
Oh, I forgot about that. Especially, yeah, you don't have to deal with ice, snow, nothing.
When I first moved to the West Coast, I had like an ice scraper in my car still. And one of my friends who grew up here was like, what the fuck's that? Like, oh, you poor child.
Right? Yeah. I love having to explain my ice scraper to people who come up from like Arizona and like down here. And I'm like, yeah, you have no idea. Or they'll see my like big bucket of like ice salt and they'll be like, what? Why do you have salt in your garage? I'm like, that's to put on the sidewalks when it's snowing. They're like, what? And I'm like,
Yeah, that's a thing.
yeah, it's not even that bad up there.
No.
Yeah. Shoveling snow all the time.
having to shovel your car out.
Yeah.
Don't miss those days at all.
Is it true that like when the Great Lakes freeze over and like it's the crashing waves or whatever, the like ice comes up and stuff? Or is that Michigan?
I mean, it happens a little bit in Chicago. Chicago has gotten infinitely worse winters since like there's been some climate changes in the last like 10 years. Like
So is Washington.
the lakes kind of froze over when I was living there, but like the full on like snowpocalypses and shit like started happening more and more often since I've left. I'm like, cool, I made the right choice.
Damn. See, that's how climate change researchers should be asking people, like people who left in the last 10 years. Like, how has your hometown changed? Because, yeah, that's crazy.
Well, I got gentrified, but that...
Wait. Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, I meant weather.
I know.
Yeah, but yeah.
I'm just being a smart ass.
Yeah, well, everywhere. Literally everywhere.
Living in Hollywood, it's an interesting situation because, you know, Hollywood used to be pretty fucking grimy.
Yeah.
And now it's like, it's a combination of some blocks are still kind of grimy. Some blocks are really not.
Yeah. And it's really interesting how the real gentrified streets, it's like the main street, but the second you start walking off, it's like, oh no, you can see how it used to be. Like,
yeah, you had to walk a couple blocks here. I'm sure you saw some of that firsthand.
a little bit. Yeah. I was like, oh, there's a Netflix building. This is weird. Okay. Hello.
Yeah, Netflix Studios is literally.
Oh my
down
God.
back.
Didn't mean to expose where you live. My bad.
It's okay. I've often made jokes because I have a rooftop patio, like jokes about like, you know, bringing girls up there, be like, yo, Netflix, chill.
Rooftop balcony though. That's so cool. Nice.
Yeah, I live a little bougier than I should be.
Wait, so when you said you were going to be on the balcony?
I was on the like balcony.
So you have your own balcony and a rooftop balcony? Oh, damn, LA life, dude. Damn.
Yeah, I was having a cigar before we got on there, as I'm prone to doing.
Ooh. Cigar, then whiskey. That's
Yeah. I'm killing myself in the best way possible.
Oh yeah. Best way. Oh, as I'm like, I gotta smell it again.
So if you don't mind me asking, how long have you been sober?
4 years this April. Yeah. I still smoke weed and microdose mushrooms for medicinal purposes, but
We call that California sober.
right? That's what I said. Yeah. And someone's like, what is that? I'm like, earth stuff. You still do that, but
Well, in theory, you could chew coca leaves at that point too, if you wanted to.
yes. Oh my God. And I have done that and it is amazing. It is next level. So I went on a study abroad program to Argentina for 6 months and we all got addicted to like mate while we were down there. And the like drink to do would be to like add wine to like Fernet and mate in the same
So what
cup.
is mate?
Yerba mate. So it's like a leaf that is like caffeinated and it's like strong and stuff. But yeah, so if you let me think, most people drink it in like a gourd, like it's a specific like cup type thing that and then there's like a straw that filters out the leaves and stuff. But it's like a tradition down there that like when you're in a group setting, there's one cup and everyone takes a sip from it and then passes it. And it's like everyone gets a hit of coffee type thing, but it's like stronger than coffee.
Well, and that's how everyone gets COVID now.
Exactly. Yeah.
Poor Argentina.
I'm pretty sure one of my friends down there is even like everyone brings their own straw places now so they can still do that. And I'm like, you're still getting backwash. That's that's not it. But
You're going to have to make like super scientific straws that like have like a gate that when you pull, like it opens, but then when you stop pulling,
oh my God, that would be smart.
shit, I'm giving away stuff on the fucking internet again.
Seriously though, someone's going to be like, oh damn, I'm going to 3D print that right now.
I
And
mean, it wouldn't be hard science.
really though.
Fuck. Why am I giving away ideas on the internet again?
As I'm like, something about getting gas out and the same, like siphoning gas.
Well, the problem with siphon, I mean, yeah, it wouldn't come back up, but you also don't want gas to end up in your mouth. Like,
Oh no, yeah. I don't know
tube
why
on
I
the-
started talking about siphoning gas.
oh, I feel like there's a history there.
Yeah.
Because that's not where most people's minds go when they're like,
I know, right? I just started thinking about like sucking things. Oh, okay. Then I started thinking about dicks.
oh no.
I know, right?
But I'm curious about the Argentina. Like, so you were down there for 6 months. When was this?
Oh, 2015 to 2016. So 5-6 years ago now. at least. Yeah. Yeah. So I went down for study abroad for a science class thing. We went like backpacking, camping our way through Argentina, hiked the Andes Mountains for a week.
Did you lose anybody? Have to eat anybody?
No, which actually was kind of impressive. Yeah, everyone thought I was gonna die on the mountain. Honestly, all my friends in the US thought I was gonna die. So even when we went backpacking for 2 weeks in the Andes, like when they didn't hear from me by that like 14th day, everyone's like, okay, she's dead. And I was like, that's not cool that everyone was just like, oh yeah, this happened. Like, yeah.
Americans have just a lot of Americans, not all Americans, but a lot of Americans have a shit view of South America. They're like, you're going to go to South America and just die.
Yeah, it really seemed like it when...
I went to Colombia in 2018.
Oh, nice.
And everyone's like, why are you going to fucking Bogota? Like, why?
Oh, in Bogota. Nice.
And I'm like, because it's going to be rad. I went to South Africa a couple of years earlier and no one batted an eye. They're like, oh, you're going to South Africa. That's cool.
Huh.
And like, if you looked at the murder rates at the time, South Africa was infinitely more dangerous.
I was about to say I'd be way more worried about South Africa than Colombia.
I also did not realize that when I went to South Africa. I didn't bother to research like the crime rates in South Africa.
Did you go by yourself?
I went with one friend.
Oh my God. So just you and a friend, didn't research, just showing up.
I'm like, I'm going to Cape Town. It'll be fine.
Oh my God. How is that though? That
Cape Town was pretty rad. I'm not sure I would ever go through all the hassle to get back there. It was cool. And the disparity between rich and poor there is insane.
I'm sure, especially South Africa, yeah.
Fucking insane.
Oh, I'm pretty sure I saw a video that it's like literally there's a wall and it like separates. Like you can see the rich homes to like the poor areas.
Cape Town is all built around the Table Mountains.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like city around a mountain.
Oh, okay.
So we didn't end up in any we walked like one part off the central business district where we were staying. And it's just like, yeah, this isn't where we should be. Let's turn around.
Oh my God.
Well, if you have any common sense and have lived in a major city any point in your life, shitty parts of major cities look like shitty parts of major cities pretty much anywhere.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Like,
You don't need to understand a language. It's, yeah.
And I had a similar experience of knowing I was not where I was supposed to be in Spain too. We were in Alicante, and everywhere else in the world, when you're in the hills, that's the shit neighborhood. Because it's hard to get resources to it.
Oh, okay, yeah, I can see that.
Where LA, it's like, no, this is where the bougie people live.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, wait, no, that's rich people.
Just LA. Everywhere else, because especially in historical ass Europe, when you didn't have cars to get resources up into the fucking hills.
Yeah, that makes sense.
We're like up in the fucking hills and like beautiful views of the city, but it's like there's murals and shit like that say Barrio, and I'm like, and there's some chicken bones on the street, and
love it.
Yeah, the sun's starting to go down, guys. We probably shouldn't be here anymore.
Oh yeah.
So we skedaddled. So it's just one of those things. Like anyone who's traveling abroad, I always tell them like, just have common fucking sense.
Exactly.
No ego about it. Like if someplace looks like you shouldn't be there, just don't be there.
Mm-hmm.
Of everywhere I've ever gone, like the talk of going to Colombia, everyone's like, "You sure you want to go to Colombia, man? That sounds dangerous."
Yeah.
For the most part, Colombia was fine. You definitely could tell that like this is a country that sees some shit in its recent history.
Mm-hmm.
But it was fine. It was fucking fine. There were a couple points where like, yo, we need to not be here, but otherwise it was fine.
Yeah, if that's the most, that's not even too bad. Yeah.
There was one point where we ended up in some park in some neighborhood, and like there's live music going on in the park, and we're chilling. I fire up a cigar, and like cigars are very much super luxury items down there.
Oh yeah.
And like some dudes who had just taken like a bump off a knife kind of started looking at us talking like, okay, we gotta go.
Oh my God. That's hella funny.
It's like, no, I'm being a stupid fucking gringo right now.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure we had that same level of idiocy though. Cause like, so I brought wax down with me like a fucking moron.
How'd you get that in country?
Through my titties.
Nice.
Yeah. I definitely wouldn't do it ever again. I can't believe I did it. I want to say those are from my drunk days. I'm not making an excuse, but those are from my drunk days that I made that decision. Yeah, so I brought wax down with me, and I had like a little vape pen that I brought, and it just wasn't working, or I needed to charge it or something. So my friends were like, okay, let's do hot knife dabs. Have you ever heard of that? Oh my God.
I have not. Me and THC just aren't friends.
Oh, okay. My bad. Okay. So,
Oh, I have no problem with it. I have no problem with it for other people. For me, it just equals me being unconscious.
oh, yeah. There's a lot of people like that. But yeah, I just feel bad when I somehow just assume everyone knows.
I mean, I live in
stuff,
Hollywood.
but
It's a safe assumption.
that makes sense. But yeah, okay. But so like it involves like heating a really hot knife and like a stovetop or something like that, and then you put the concentrate on it, and then using a straw you suck up, or like a just something
Like knifey freebasing.
pretty much
Wax.
Yeah, so knifey freebasing wax, that was the idea that everyone had. And so 2 people had done it, and like some of the other people in the hostel that we were staying at, they saw what we were doing and they're like, oh yeah, drugs. And we're like, you guys want to do dabs? Like, it's all good. And then they bring something out, and it's called Paco. And it's like a heavier, way more intense, horrible drug than heroin. And like they start like whipping that out, and like, and we're all like, oh shit, we just brought like paper knives to a gun party, and like everyone just went hard out of like after like 2 seconds, and we were just like, we should not be here right now.
Did you
Like,
partake at all, or?
I did not at all. Like, I could not even like, and that was when I was like, I'd do almost any drug back then. But I think just because we had been warned to definitely stay away from that, and that one hit could like potentially just like you're just like stuck for life. You just want more. So I didn't, but 2 of our friends in our class did.
For science. It was a science trip.
Yeah, exactly. I think one of them even said for research. They didn't sleep for 5 days.
Oh, so it's not an opiate. It's an upper.
Yeah. And they didn't know that. Yeah. I think they tried to sleep where they like closed their eyes and they were like, we didn't sleep.
That is the worst fucking feeling. Like,
Especially on drugs.
well, there's been points in my life, like as a teenager, it's like, oh, abused like someone's fucking diet pill fucking prescription. And it was just like, didn't sleep for 2 days. Wanted to sleep. Really wanted to sleep. Could not sleep. The worst feeling.
Mm-hmm.
It was
When your body's fighting you.
I did it like once, and it was never again. This is back when you could smoke indoors. I smoked like a pack of. This is when I was still a cigarette smoker too. I like smoked like a pack of cigarettes in like a couple hours sitting in a coffee house, like just tweaking.
Oh my God.
I probably gave myself mild nicotine poison. My gums were tingling. Like it was.
Ooh.
And by the time I went home, it was just like, I want to sleep. I feel exhausted. I can't sleep.
But you're just so awake. Oh
Yeah.
my God.
Never again.
Worst failing.
Yeah.
Ugh.
So for 5 days, that sounds fucking miserable.
Yeah, they looked like just eyes sunken in, dark. Like, yeah, I think even like the last 3 days, they said they were sick. And so they missed class and everything. But yeah, oh, it was rough.
But that's at least an experience you could tell to like.
Right? Yeah. I was even like, I can't even say anything. All I can do is say, hey, my friend did it. But yeah, that just looked way too intense. But we were doing hot knife dabs, so I can't really talk. But I'm sure it's just because I'm sure that made it just look so much harder too, that they were like, oh damn, there's some hard kids over here.
Well, and they probably, wax is not like that super common.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
they're probably
they probably thought it was something else.
Yeah.
So we're just like little kids, like,
Oh no, we're just marijuanas, just concentrated marijuanas.
and little kids, as in we were like 23, 24 with like 37, 38-year-olds. And they're like, you guys are cute. And we're like, oh, hard drugs.
You guys are cute. Here's the real shit.
Right? Yeah.
First hit's free, as the Dare PSAs used to say.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what it was. They were even like, because I think one of our friends was like, oh, we'll get some from you. They're like, no, you do it here. And we were like, oh shit, okay.
Or were they afraid you're going to run to the cops or some shit?
I know, maybe. God. Yeah, Argentina was next level. When you started getting like off the main streets, it was like you saw like militia with huge like rifle guns, and yeah. But
Colombia was like much like that too.
You felt safe though.
I did. I definitely did. Like, oh, hey, military dude with an AK. Cool.
Right? Yeah.
I was like, oh, this country's definitely seen some shit.
Yep. Yeah. So I'm going to El Salvador in December.
Nice.
And so my dad is from there, and my like side of the family's from there. I'm first generation American. So So everyone in my family is like, don't go. You're too American. You're going to get kidnapped type thing. And then, yeah, it was just because my family grew up in the Civil War era of El Salvador. So, but when I'm showing them like the videos that my friends are sending me of El Salvador, it's like them on the beach, like surfing with like the locals and stuff. And it's like laid back. And
my thought process always is like, unless a place is in an active war zone, there are people living and thriving in these societies.
Exactly.
Like, I'm not going to Venezuela right now because, yeah, that's effectively an active war zone.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
But other parts of South America, like, there are people living and thriving.
Yeah, definitely. I went to Easter Island for 5 days at the end of my Argentina trip. And that was pretty glorious, just being able to see like how much people could flourish and thrive off like not having big city things and other stuff like that. It was pretty amazing.
It's amazing how we as a species are very adaptable, yet very fucking stuck in our ways.
Yes. And how electronics or expensive things could also like not dumbify people, but just make people more relaxed and not as common sense knowledgeable in a way.
As I often say, we have the wealth of human knowledge in our hands and we've never been fucking dumber.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I constantly say that if someone took my phone from me when I was out in a new city, I would have nowhere to go. Like, I could still read maps and do all that and stuff, but like, I'd have to whip out my paper map.
Where are you going to find one of those?
AAA. They'd be like, no, you can get that online on your phone now.
It's so fucking swell. I as a kid, like, I knew everyone's fucking phone numbers off the top of my head.
Right?
I know my number off the top of my head. Hell, my Google Voice number, sometimes I have to double back and be like, what's my Google Voice number?
Oh, damn. Damn. Yeah. Or the like box of numbers.
The Rolodex?
Yeah. So I was like, what was that called? Yeah. Oh my God, those days.
Yeah, back when like you made plans with someone and you had to meet them there on fucking time because you had no way to contact them once the plans were in motion.
Mm-hmm. Oh my God, I kind of random, but I love watching like 90s shows and stuff like that and being like, this wouldn't be a storyline because you'd have cell phones or like modern day things like this wouldn't translate to now.
Even early 2000s stuff like, you ever see the movie Road Trip?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that movie would not work.
Oh my God, yeah.
Like, I keep calling her dorm and she doesn't answer, so we're going to road trip to Texas. Like, no, I just would fucking text her.
Yeah. Email even.
Right.
Check her social media. Like, there's so many things to do.
100 things to do there. Like, none of them involve a ridiculous road trip.
Yeah. Yeah. That's why I'm like, I don't know. We had it good when we were younger. We'd get made fun of at school and it ended there. Now they got to take it home with them and like get teased at home. And I'm like, the teasing ended when I got home. Like, you wouldn't get phone calls of like, well, maybe.
Yeah, but at the point where like harassing phone calls started, like the police got involved.
Yeah, back then, yeah. Oh, good old days.
Because it's like, oh, you got a call from a landline too. Oh,
we can track that.
Right, we can star 69 immediately call back.
Oh my God! Or like when your parents would get the like pages long of your phone bill and. Yeah, I don't know about you, but go through the numbers, be like, who's this? Who's this?
So yeah, I was a rebellious youth and, my father just didn't care enough or have the bandwidth to deal with that shit. I had my own fucking phone line. Like,
oh my God, love it. That's so cool.
Yeah, he was just like, I'm sick of you tying up my fucking line. Here, a second line's not that expensive. Here, have your own fucking phone line.
Oh, when did you get your own phone line?
I want to say like late middle school, early like high school.
What?
Yep.
That is so cool.
And then it backfired on him because halfway through high school, I started a dial-up BBS on my fucking PC. So people, like, the line was tied up for people to dial into my fucking BBS.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
For you younger people, Google what a BBS is. Ye olden times of the internet. I often have friends back in the day like, you were the most tech-savvy person we knew in high school. What happened to you? Like, life happened to me.
Technology, just, yeah.
Well, me getting disillusioned at a young age, relatively young age of like, oh, I'm not going to work in tech.
Oh.
Fucked a lot of my life up thinking because I was working as an IT professional in high school.
Oh, damn.
Like my first job at 16 was like an internship in an IT department.
That's so cool.
And by the time like I so fucked off in high school because I'm like, I have computer skills. This pre-.com bubble burst, so
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna have a cushy tech job. Going to college would be a detriment to my tech career. And then most of my very early 20s were fucked around with just mediocre tech jobs. And then fell into like doing something that was supposed to be in between tech jobs and then ended up doing armed security for over a decade.
Oh, damn.
So it was a weird path. And once I started doing dummy physical work, my tech skills just
Ooh, yeah. Beat down your body. Your brain's just.
working a lot, partying a lot, just wasn't motivated because like part of, especially in those days in tech, it was a lot of like the minute you get a gig, you're almost hunting for your next gig. Because at that point, like a lot of companies was like, oh, the minute we got to cut budgets, IT is the first place to go.
Oh, that's so fucked. That makes sense, though.
And I hate job hunting. I hate job hunting to this day.
When I first started applying for jobs, I was still, what was that? I forget what it's called, that you could give your resume to somewhere.
Like a recruiter?
Yeah, but it wasn't a recruiter. It was called something else. I can't remember, but yeah, back in those days.
As we reminisce about the olden times.
I know, right? Yeah, because like someone even asked me, they're like escorting, because I started sex work, full service sex work. And someone even asked me and they're like, how was it? Like, was that so difficult? And I'm like, I was spoiled. I came from the spoiled Craigslist and Backpages days and like seeking arrangements days when you could just like post things and just find dates and it's that easy. And ever since Fosta Sesta and all that stuff, it's like there's some sites that you can do that on now, but it used to be so much easier. So that's, I'm like, I can't even imagine what people deal with now.
It's terrifying what people have to potentially deal with now. And I'm sure there was some sketchiness on the other end of things from those days, but
oh yeah, definitely. But even then, like compared to now, I'm just like, yeah. The little bit of like security that we did have felt so much safer than what there is now. So unfortunately.
Yeah, it's such a shit show. It's like, we've proven these laws do fucking nothing except hurt people.
Mm-hmm. Harming more. Yeah.
Obviously, full service sex work is not going away.
Not at all. It's been around since before the United States. So why would it even?
It's called the world's oldest profession for a reason.
Right. Yeah. Even when like everyone jokes around that apocalypse is going to happen and everything like goes to hell, people are still going to be wanting to get laid and people are going to be too stressed. And
oh, people are going to want to get laid more.
I know, right? So here we are. Yeah.
Well, and if the full-on apocalypse happens where we go full-on might makes right, oh, some very dumb people are going to want to get laid a lot.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because that's how it worked back in the day. Like, oh, I can swing a stick harder and faster than you can. What I say goes.
Oh, yeah.
And we're slowly declining back towards that.
Slowly. Yeah.
I really thought the end of society would come faster than it is, but it's just really taking a sweet time about it.
Just a bit. Yeah. Especially with everything still going on in the world and we're still just not acting like anything's happening. It's definitely just going to take a long time.
Well, yeah, at this point, COVID's still a thing. Everyone's acting like it's not.
Yeah. And then monkeypox. I'm just kidding.
I'm not as worried about monkeypox. That's been around for a hot minute.
Oh, no, 100%. It's just, yeah, ever since COVID, just anything that comes out, everyone's like, it's the next pandemic.
Hopefully, I mean, don't quote me on this. Don't like find a way to like hamster wheel power up your fucking device to listen to this podcast in the apocalypse and be like, Matt was wrong. Hopefully, this is a once in a century type fucking deal.
Oh, yeah, that every 100 years type thing.
I've said this. I know it's horrible. I know it's fucking horrible. But I really, really wish COVID had like fucking Ebola levels of lethality because people would have fucking taken it seriously and we wouldn't have gotten to where we fucking are now.
That's for sure.
But the problem is everyone was marketed as like, oh, if you're young and healthy, you're survivable. And every obese motherfucker is like, I'm young and healthy.
Yeah, that was, and then the whole idea of not testing anyone under the age of like 70 for months on end, that was.
Or the government having to lie to us because we're spoiled children about masks. Like, oh, you don't have to wear masks. We just need to hoard them real quick. And oh, actually, by the way, you need masks this whole time.
I feel like in California, especially, it was like every 2 weeks. Like, you got to put your mask. Oh, taken away. Oh, put it back.
Oh, LA is about to be back to indoor masking because their numbers are upticking again.
Well, even I always overbook myself when I'm going to collab with other people. And 2 or 3 people that I was supposed to collab with this week, they all got COVID. And I was just like, oh my God, take care of yourself.
Because motherfuckers are acting like it ain't a thing anymore. It's just, they're over it.
Oh, yeah. That's how it is up there too, though. So,
Well, I think that's the whole fucking world at this point is, unless you're in Asia, Asia's like, no, we understand communicable diseases. We wear masks when we have colds.
yeah, definitely.
The U.S. is like, nah, my freedoms. I don't care who dies.
I love it because so I do pottery, and in certain stages of like what you're doing in pottery, there's like clay, dry clay coming up, and you're not supposed to get that in your lungs, so you should wear a mask. And so when we're doing that, and some people were like, you should put your mask on because like, and they're like, well, I'm not going to put a mask on, blah, blah. And then we're like, then we explain it to them that it's like, no, it's the clay, can't get through your nose. And they're like, oh, that makes sense. Okay. And then put their mask on. It's like, why do you need to be explained this? Like,
but that viral load, that's fictional.
yeah. You understand clay particles in the air potentially getting in your lungs and killing you that way, but
Not the virus that your body doesn't know how to fight. No, that's fictional.
see, this is what happens when it's a non-alcohol. Because you just start talking about COVID instead of
The show goes where it goes sometimes.
Kombucha. Bring out the healthy, clean gut probioticness for everyone.
I'm helping my probiotics with a whiskey.
As I'm like, I just got a whiff of that and it's not the same. Give me back my whiskey. Oh, just sniffing that as I'm drinking my kombucha. No big deal.
So what is the plan for El Salvador? What are you doing when you're there?
It's an educational, informative group trip.
So a lot of drugs?
I know, right? I wish. No. Yeah, no, it's supposed to be like super educational, and like we're gonna meet like with indigenous people from the Civil War. We're actually meeting some ceramicists, and then like meeting people to learn more about the economy and like what they're doing to actively try to make El Salvador a safer place, and like what they're doing law-wise and stuff like that. So like, yeah, we're kind of like learning a lot. But yeah, I like won a scholarship to be able to go on this, so I'm pretty excited.
That's fucking awesome. Especially
Yeah.
like that they're not discriminating against sex workers. That's awesome.
They don't really know I'm in sex work, but
Oh.
yeah.
But we're talking about it on the internet.
Who gives a shit?
Fair enough. No, because that's crazy that that's actually a concern in this kind of shit.
I know, right? And honestly, actually, I have a feeling the person that leads the groups, she knows I'm a sex worker. No, never mind. Yeah. So actually, now that you mention it, it is cool that, but like she is so chill and like so sex worker discrimination, like decriminalization and everything. And yeah, so it's really cool seeing people and like with doctorates and like not at all involved with sex work being like, oh yeah, no, that makes sense. And it's like, I love that it's common sense and like just easy knowledge for you. That's so cool.
Should be for more people.
Right?
Once again, something I've said multiple times on the air. I feel like sex work is only really a problem for the middle class.
Yeah, really. And then the like upper class wants to like not really act like it when it's like you're using them.
Well, the upper class wants to pander to the middle class to take advantage of them.
Oh,
so they're
true.
telling them what they want to hear.
True. Always. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like,
Sex work, if it was decriminalized, do so much better for everyone.
it would be. It absolutely fucking would be.
Yep.
And the crazy part is like, it's decriminalized or flat out legal in so many fucking other places where like most of South America, it's A-okay.
Right? Yep.
Oh, these wildly Catholic fucking states are like, yeah, go get yours.
Right? Makes sense. Like, I'm pretty sure when I was in Argentina and we were talking about sex workers, there was someone there that I was like, they're not going to be okay with sex workers. Their justification was even like, yeah, no, sex workers make sense because it helps, like, even for their circumstance, they're like, it helps domestic violence numbers stay down. And I was like, that's sad that you have to bring it to that level and all that. But I love that. That's just like.
Apparently, privately conducted sex work is legal in Argentina and has been since 1875.
Damn.
10 years after the American Civil War, Argentina's like, yeah, do that shit.
Okay, but it is a bit scary in Argentina because I've never seen this before. So at least in Buenos Aires, they have like little cards that are like on post-its type thing. Like there's a sticky side to it. So there's just like guys that put these sticky notes up that it's like pictures of these like sex workers and it's like call this number. You can like spend time with them. And like we were warned by several people while we were down there not to call those numbers ever because they're actually like trafficked people from Paraguay and Colombia. So that's why I'm like, I know that like there are sex workers too, especially because I have friends that are sex workers in Argentina. But then it's also like scary seeing both sides of that too. And then it's like, I get decriminalization, but that's also a scary instance too.
It is. It absolutely is. But it's a step in the right direction to decriminalize and then
Keep going and start
figuring
working
out
on
like,
that
oh,
too.
at least if those people were able to somehow get free, they could go to the fucking authorities.
Yeah, exactly.
Because if you're trafficked here and you go to the fucking authorities,
They're gonna charge you for doing millions of things and like, next level mess.
Yeah, funsies, guys, funsies.
Oh, yeah. But I have friends that are sex workers in Argentina and like they can just go to like I know one of them had like a bag of like their wallet and like toys stolen and they told the cops like I had dildos in there, I had my outfits in there and the cops were like, "Okay, like just put that on the list that you lost and then like we'll just keep going on with the process." And I was like, that's just a crazy concept to me that you were able to like talk to cops and be like, "Yeah, I'm a sex worker, lost all these things." And they're just like, "Okay. Yeah, profession, sex worker." Like,
right?
Yeah, really cool.
Well, and if there's full decriminalization, it's like, oh, hey, you can make use of public resources and shit like that without having to hide what you do for a living. Like, oh, hey, would you like to go go to a clinic and get tested? Sure, without having to lie to the doctor about like.
Exactly. Yeah.
As someone who's not a sex worker, I don't know how much you have to lie if you go to a public clinic, but I'm assuming you have to lie a fair amount.
I guess it depends on the person. I know a lot of people that don't and they just straight up like tell people. But like I've always just been worried about the like discrimination and like so I guess I have the privilege to be able to like not look like a sex worker, to be like, no, I'm just doing whatever type thing. But yeah. So, but then, and then the sex workers that were also in Argentina, they said that they were able to use like major banks and still get their deposits through that. When it's like here, that's one of the big issues is that we're like told to get our deposits through credit unions because they'll question it less than actual banks. And it's like the things we have to do in the US to like get around things. It's pretty crazy.
It absolutely is. It's like marijuana and sex work. You both like have to do like crazy, like especially with the banking system, just absolutely fucking crazy things. Because hell, at one point, I thankfully got a cool banker. I was trying to start up a production company with some friends, and I mentioned to the banker that it was going to be like adult films. He's like, "Can't say that, man. You're a film production company." I'm like, thanks, bro. Thanks for looking out.
That's a good one. Wow.
Like, I'm not even actually doing the sex work, and they're just like, nah.
Still can't even mention it. Yeah.
It's like, this is legal here. This is fucking legal work.
Right.
Adult film production is perfectly fucking legal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Can't do it.
It's interesting seeing what gets taken down and what's not allowed. And yeah. Like, there's like on Instagram, how like sex workers can't post like anything at all. Like no tits, no booty. Other people who aren't sex workers can post that stuff and don't get flagged. And then it's like, I know someone who bakes pies and they sculpt their pies to look like cute little vaginas and each one is different and they get flagged all the time. And it's like, yeah, it's just crazy seeing what is sexualized and what gets flagged. And
well, I think part of it that people don't often talk about is those celebrities and major accounts that aren't getting flagged also have teams and probably know people, live people at fucking Facebook or wherever, and be like, oh, if it gets flagged, they pick up a phone, that person picks up another phone, calls someone and like, yo, fix this.
True. But even in sex work, there is that even to a degree. Because I've even been told that like there's people that are just like, oh yeah, just hit this person up and they'll give you the email of some Instagram staff person. And it's always who you know.
For sure. And unfortunately, the people that are well-to-do are better connected.
True. Definitely true.
So it's not just the stigma of it. It's just the, being connected, not being connected. I know someone who is working at Facebook these days who's helped some people out.
Oh, nice. Damn.
I'm sure, if you're represented by CAA or fucking William Morris.
Oh, yeah.
It's a much easier phone call. When you got a multi-billion-dollar agency behind you, like,
yeah, that makes sense.
Being like, yo, did you just try to blacklist our fucking client?
And it's like, oh damn, we don't want to piss them off,
right? Because they could really pull the flex of like, we could just have our clients not post or fucking.
Oh yeah, damn, yeah.
And since Instagram and Facebook live on engagement, if you fucking are like, hey, all these A-list fucking celebrities are gonna stop making fucking posts and kill some engagement for you.
Damn, that's crazy. Yeah, like
this is all theory. I have nothing to back this up.
Oh well, I was gonna say because like I don't really watch TikTok or like use it much or anything, but I know I saw something on Twitter going around that was like musicians and singers were coming out on TikTok saying like their music won't get released unless they like post a TikTok or two because their like record labels want that exposure and that marketing, and the fact that they're not giving it to them. They're like, well, we're not going to give you what you want. Yeah. So it's crazy seeing who can one up the next person.
And TikTok's the fucking devil. So,
oh my God. Do you use it?
I do.
Oh my.
I don't use it for this because every time I've ever posted a clip from this fucking show, it gets muted.
I was going to say, how do you?
I use it for my gaming content.
It's going to be like a beeping. Like, it'd have to be censored like the entire time. Like,
the one in Now We Drink clip I was able to get up there was Elena St. James talking about penis sizes, but she never says the word penis.
Oh.
She's like, and she's just like, it's got to, she's talking about like how balanced it has to be. It has to be like good length to girth and like, but she doesn't say the word penis. And then I, at the very end of it, put a clip of Thanos going perfectly balanced as all things should be.
Oh my God. I love it.
That one didn't get flagged. Everything else I've ever posted from this show to TikTok, flagged, muted.
Huh.
Like within minutes.
Interesting. You're going to have to like do a food video, but it's about sex somehow. And like they like, I don't even know how.
I'm just not playing that game. Instagram has been cool with me for the most part. YouTube's been mostly cool with me. So
that's good. Instagram's not even censoring you?
Nope.
Good.
Because there's no actual nudity.
I wondered that though. Like, how far do they take it? So I thought they'd take it.
Either that or I'm just not big enough yet.
No, anyone's like, yeah, no, anyone with anything is big. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, which is probably going to result in someone flagging a fucking post now.
I'm sure it's also that like you don't play porn noises. There's no audio from porn and stuff like that. No one's like moaning and like doing stuff on here.
And even with the YouTube stuff, like recently I had a guest do a very loud fake orgasm like on air, and I just muted that for the YouTube version.
Oh, okay.
Just put text on screen like, if you want to see the uncensored version of this, go to the Patreon.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah.
The only thing that's ever been pulled from YouTube happened within the last couple weeks. An audio-only episode, like, that's 5 years old, got fucking pulled for a violation of the sexual content and nudity policy. It's audio only. How is this possibly?
Whoa.
And like the policy's like videos for sexual gratification purposes. I'm like, this is audio only.
It's audio, yeah.
And this was me, Annie Cruz, and a male guest. Like,
it's too sexual.
I don't know. I appealed and they immediately rejected my appeal.
So it's that someone heard the three of you together and was just like, this is too hot. Talking about normal things, and it's too hot still.
And the thing about it is, like, there were definitely other questionable things during that episode, but I don't think there was anything sexual, like overtly sexual.
Oh, weird.
I mean, I obviously didn't go back to the episode and review it. I was just like, this is audio only. I'm fighting this. And then an hour later, like, nope, we're standing by our decision. It's gone.
Damn.
So I immediately posted to Twitter. I'm like, hey, yo, we have an episode too hot for YouTube. Go back and listen to it.
That's been happening on Twitter for sex workers when we post music in our videos or when people post their TikToks on Twitter. Those are getting taken down by like audio or like
Yeah, but
record
like
companies or whatever.
DCMA strikes are a real thing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, that is a DMCA strike. Oh, I was thinking that was like some kind of intellectual thing, but
Yeah,
that makes sense. No, yeah.
You can't use people's copyrighted music. You just can't.
Oh, yeah.
If they object
Oh,
to
no.
it.
So it's that Twitter is even taking down like the free royalty.
But who's providing the royalty-free music?
Oh, shit. That must be what it is, that a bunch
Right.
of people got it from a different site that was just wrong.
Right. Like if it's royalty-free on TikTok.
Thanks for working that out in my brain. I always wondered that.
Yeah, we provide a license for TikTok, not Twitter.
Oh. You just answered. I'm going to tell like so many people that because we're all just like, I don't understand how we...
Yeah, it's very different license. I at one point in my life actually ran a small record label, so I have a
Damn.
I have a gauge on like intellectual property law and like fucking
IT,
music IP,
record label.
Yeah, I've held
security.
a lot of fucking jobs in my life.
Nice.
I'm constantly unhappy and trying to change it.
Do you have like a sweet spot year that you go to usually before you?
No, not really. The record label thing was like, I loved doing it, but it was a black hole for money.
Yeah, I always wondered how anyone can make any kind of money from that.
Well, and I made the mistake of like printing physical media in like 2008.
Oh, damn.
Not a great time for physical media.
Yeah, that's like right before it got popular.
Also, I found through my experience of running a small label, it's like I would be much happier in artist management than I ever would be running a label, because especially when you're running a small label, sometimes you have to make decisions that are not in your artist's best interest because they're in the best interest of the business.
Mm-hmm.
And that's easy to do when you don't have a personal relationship with the people you're working with.
Oh, that makes sense.
Like I had to tell one of my bands before we did a festival in 2007, like, if you guys don't deliver me a fucking commercially viable album in time for me to have it pressed for the fucking festival, you're not on the festival. I will book a band I'm trying to recruit to take your stage time.
Ooh, yeah. And if that's your friends.
Yeah, I've been working with these guys for a couple of years at this point. Like, they become my friends, but at the end of the day, I'm spending money to fucking buy on to be the second stage sponsor for this fucking festival.
Ooh.
I get limited number of slots on the fucking festival.
Ooh. Yeah, that does sound hella stressful.
Yeah, I would much rather have been like the guy just taking care of them.
Yeah.
And tell everyone, no, motherfucker, you're going to put them the fuck on. You're going to honor your fucking commitments.
Yeah, seriously.
Well, and that's the beauty of this, like the industry we're in now is like, this is the land of misfit toys. Like nobody in career day in fucking elementary school is like, I want to get into pornography and sex work.
I've somehow actually talked to quite a few people that were like, we knew since we were like 16, 15, we were going to get into sex work.
Approximately how old are you at this point?
Oh, me? Oh, I didn't mean that.
Oh, I mean, but the people that,
Oh,
how
they
old
were
are
in
they?
like their 30s.
They're in their 30s now?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's surprising. I could definitely see people that are like in their early 20s now. Like,
yeah, a few years type thing. But yeah, no, I know a few people that like, that was like their goal. And they're still in it like halfway through.
That's still wild to me because, like, I can imagine someone in like their 20s would be like, because it's become, there's still a stigma, but there's a lot less of a stigma.
Oh no, it's so popular now. Yeah.
Yeah, it's popular now. Like the idea of like, I'm in my early 40s. Like the idea of someone being like getting into sex work as like their first choice. When I was growing up, like,
right? Yeah. Like when I tell people I joined sex work or I started sex work when I was like 22, 23, they're like, damn, that's old. And I'm like, back then that was like normal. Now it's like, yeah, 18, 19 people go in, which is cool. But like, yeah, it's more common, more popular now.
it's cool and it's not. Like, on one hand, it's like, you're an adult and you can make your own fucking decisions. On the other hand, it's like, there are a lot of pitfalls that come with this fucking work.
Oh, 100%.
And at 18, you may not have had someone properly express them to you, or you may not have a real good grasp on what those pitfalls could be. Unbeknownst to me until recently, I had told a younger performer who'd been in for a couple of years at this point, but looked still in her early 20s, like, hey, do you have a plan for like later on, like getting behind the camera, doing something else? Like, especially if you're just a performer, there's a fairly limited shelf life unless you are doing your own production. Like, if you are just counting on other people for gigs, there's a limited shelf life in this biz. Very few people that make it, like, to the Lisa and age.
Yes. Yeah. I was going to say, especially at this point now, I think it's going to be that, like, people from my age group, like late 20s, early 30s, that you're going to start seeing those people that are, like, in the industry for 20, 30 plus years. Like, I think this is when it's going to start. And then...
But you make your own content.
Oh, yeah. That's true.
Like,
yeah.
You have the skill set to make your own content, continue to make your own content.
True. Yeah. Like, just being booked. Yeah, that's a good point.
If your plan is to get behind the camera for yourself, that's good.
Yeah.
Do it. But if you're just like, I'm just going to survive on content trade and getting booked, you have a very limited shelf life in this biz.
So I didn't get that that's what you were saying at first. And now that I get that, I'm even like, I don't think you can survive nowadays like that anymore. I think that's more of like a pre-subscription site for sure type days. But yeah, oh no, definitely limited.
Well, but I know some people that they may have an OnlyFans, but they don't support it like they should.
True.
It's much more of a hustler's economy in the business now than it was even 6 years ago.
Yes. And definitely, because we even talk about it in the side of like OnlyFans and subscription sites are the downfall of sex work in the terms of like, we could post a new video, maybe like once every 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and our fans would be so fucking stoked for it. They'd be so happy. They'd be like, hell yeah, we finally get to see you. And now it's like, why didn't you post in the last hour? How come you haven't messaged me in 12 hours? And it's like, yeah, so the level of like, not greed, but like neediness and like the really like the power is at your fingertips type thing. Like there's a huge downfall for that too. And that's why like a lot of people, I feel like that have also been around in sex work for like 10 to 15 years. They're like getting so tired at this stage because they went through the whole like, you had your own independence. You could be like your own person. And now it's like, if you're not making content all the time, like you're going to get, there's so many people out there. There's, so many sites now.
And sex work is running into some of the same pitfalls of podcasting is now sex work has no barrier of entry. People shoot this shit with their iPhones. And people are into super amateur shit. So,
oh my God. Yeah. I love talking about that with people that we're like, we'll have like the lights up, like the best equipment ever, 4K cam, microphone and stuff. And like a few people buy it. Okay, whatever. But the shit that I film with my phone in a parking lot in my car and I look horrible and like the lighting is bad, that sells 20 times. Like so it's interesting.
It's weird to gauge people's tastes for sure.
Yep.
But it's also like you are now competing in the marketplace, not like that they're actually competition, but you are competing for views, money, whatever, with the bartender, the hot bartender at your local bar.
Oh, yeah.
Or
all the hot nurses that are now on OnlyFans now. Oh.
And it's awesome to empower them, but it's like, how do you stand out from the noise if you're not already famous?
True. And then it's also where we're coming from, where we're like, damn, all these people are now profiting off of sex work without having to fight for the rights that we have to fight for and that we're constantly yelling about. And they're just like, yeah. So that's also another frustration.
I totally get why it's frustrating. But on the other hand, it's like more people that get into it, more normalization that comes.
Exactly. That's so true too. Yeah. It's great hearing like, I don't know, it's talked about in like, even if it's in a bad sense, because then people are going to think about that and be like, no, I actually agree with it. So it starts conversations. It's really great that it's getting more out there.
100%. It's just also, I could understand it's super frustrating when like mainstream celebrities are like, I'm starting an OnlyFans. Mm-hmm. And I'm not even talking about like the Bella Thorne situation. Like,
oh, I forgot about that.
All the UFC ring girls have OnlyFans.
Oh, really?
Yep.
That makes sense, though. And if I was like into wrestling, that's what I would go for.
Yeah, some of the WWE divas have fucking OnlyFans as well.
That's perfect.
So on one hand, it's exposing sex work to a much broader audience that would have been there before. But on the other hand, it's like, fuck, I'm not getting broadcast to millions of people on a fucking pay-per-view. socially acceptable pay-per-view on top of that. Not even like,
Yep.
because even if you're getting booked on a fucking major production set, there are only so many viewers on that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, your average UFC card has hundreds of thousands of buys.
Damn.
And how many eyes? That buy isn't one buy per person. It's like, oh, I'm throwing a party for my 10 homies, and that's one buy.
Damn.
Oh, that ring girl's hot. Oh, I'm going to go on her Instagram. Oh, shit. Because she's connected to a major agency, she can freely advertise her OnlyFans on her Instagram.
That's badass. Huh.
It's badass on one hand, but on the other hand, it's like, how does the average sex worker stand out from the noise at that point?
Oh, 100%. I think it's that I'm just like, I've been in the industry for so long. So when I hear that stuff, I'm like, damn, you do you. That's whole like next generation type thing that I'm like, I don't know. I'm like sitting back in my rocking chair, like cute little babes doing what, yeah.
It's 100% a double-edged sword. It's like
pros and cons.
Yeah, I'm all for it. Like, oh, hey, look at that normalization. That hot ring girl is fucking getting her OnlyFans on. On the other hand, like, oh, my friends that are worried about making rent this month because their content isn't selling as well.
100%. Yeah. I think that's another huge frustration too, is seeing like the survival sex workers that started around the same time I did. Like a lot of them are like, we wish there was a resource that we could have had back then to be able to flourish and be able to do that now. So it is sad hearing people, especially that they've left the industry before all that started. And they're like, it's a whole other world now. And it really is. But that's even like what we also have to grow with too. It's like everything changes every few years. And
oh yeah, hell, I've been in long enough where fucking MindGeek was the devil.
oh my God, I forgot about MindGeek.
Yeah, like the tube sites, the fucking devil when I got in.
Yup.
Absolutely. And like now everyone's like, hell,
Tube sites.
MindGeek's employed me occasionally. Like,
Really? Oh, that's
I've done some PA work on MindGeek sites. It's like,
that's badass.
it's like, yeah, I've talked some shit. Please, I'll take the check though.
They pull out your old records, like on this date back then.
Like, you've talked shit about us on the internet. Like, you guys, have performed your ways a bit, but yeah, you guys did some fucking shady shit back in the day. Like,
That is so cool.
people can change, companies can change,
Definitely.
but at the end of the day, like the whole industry is changing. They very much were disruptive to the fucking industry. Absolutely. Back in the day, wildly disruptive to the industry.
I bet.
Oh, hey, we're going to let people just pirate your fucking content. And when it's been devalued, offer to buy the IP off of you for pennies on the dollar.
Ooh. I forgot someone else told me about that. Yeah. Oh, damn.
It'll continue to change. And the fact that, OnlyFans is not they're financially helping everyone out now, but they just proved last October that if it isn't in financially their best interest, that may fucking change.
And even then, they're still updating things to slowly phase us out. So I think the last thing I heard was even we can't use the coming emoji or whatever, because that can get flagged for sex workers. Yeah, I've still heard a bunch of people that they didn't even mention anything sexual, but just because of the emojis, they got flagged.
On OnlyFans? That's wild. I mean, even if you're not selling services, I've heard things like excessive gaping will get you flagged.
Oh yeah. You're not allowed to stick anything in your ass unless it's specifically a dick, a dildo.
A human-shaped dildo.
Yeah, human-shaped dildo or a butt. No, not a butt plug, because that's anal insertion. It's it's or maybe a butt plug. I can't remember, but it's
it's arbitrary as fuck, no matter what it is.
Yeah, and I think it was there was another video where I was shoving panties in my pussy, and that got flagged for odd insertion. Right? And so that's why I'm y'all are really reaching with a bunch of things.
Why? Who cares about this?
Yeah, it got to even the point because they outphased public content, that public content is not allowed on OnlyFans anymore. And it's now that even if we're in our backyards, they'll flag it because they'll be well, how do we know that that's your backyard? And it's we can't even be on our own private property though.
See, I understand both sides of that.
Right? There's pros and cons, yeah.
Well, because on like one hand, like they're right. They have no way of knowing that like that's not just you breaking into someone's yard or stuff like that. Like
100%.
so they're limiting their liability. I get that. But on the other hand, it is your fucking backyard. There's got to be some sort of middle ground to be able to figure out like, hey, this is my backyard.
Yeah. But then, like you said, I can understand why they were just like nothing outside. Everything's
well, and it's because OnlyFans was never set up to be what OnlyFans is.
Oh, yeah.
OnlyFans was
too fast.
Yeah, it grew too fucking fast. OnlyFans was supposed to be like a Patreon competitor that happened to allow adult content. So they never envisioned the company with checks and balances or verification when they launched. That's why like they claimed that the MasterCard thing was going down was the fact that, oh, MasterCard's making us pull. It's like, no, you assholes grew too quickly and did not have checks and balances put in place to comply with the rules that MasterCard gave you 6 months prior that are actually not unreasonable. Have you ever read what MasterCard actually demands?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, it makes sense.
Yeah. None of all like, oh, we're requiring 2257 paperwork for everyone involved. Oh my God, that's federal fucking law.
Right? Yeah. Yeah. But the fact that so many websites just in the past year or two started like when you upload to ManyVids, before it was like you could upload whatever. Now it's like, there's a specific question that's like, is there a co-performer? And if you've clicked yes or no, yes, and it's like, are they on ManyVids? And then you can like search for them through there. Or if it's not, then you have to upload a bunch of like stuff. And like, that's new for the site. And I'm like, that's horrible that they were so established. They even like, oh, I should not be talking shit about ManyVids, but whatever. They like searched for like porn stars and other big models to bring into ManyVids instead of like promoting their own people. And then they even did that before they did 2257s. And I'm like, that's pretty bad.
Well, it's really bad. And
just minor verification, that's horrible in itself. Like,
yeah, well, I mean, and at the end of the day, even being able to flag an existing performer as like, this is my co-performer is still not proper 2257 fucking verification.
100%. And it's even scarier that a lot of models think that is. And I have to constantly be like, no, it's not. And they're like, yes, it is. And I'm like, I guess I'm not going to argue with this on this one, but okay.
It's like, no. You ever watch an old school scene where it says custody of records are located at? That's part of 2257 requirements.
Exactly.
And if a site is not asking you where your records are fucking stored or has a copy of them themselves, you're in violation of the fucking law. Just because there hasn't been an administration since like Bush Sr. that's gone after anybody for it doesn't mean that shit won't change. You know, thank God it didn't happen, but think if we had President Mike Pence, how fast fucking 2257 verification would start coming down from the FBI.
Right? Yeah. And have to do it with everything.
Your fucking 10 years of fucking content.
It'd be like tagged in the like receipt of like, you know what I mean? Like all the information of like files and stuff. It'd be like in there even like.
But what would performers do at that point if the FBI comes knocking on their fucking door and we want all your 2257 paperwork for every scene you've ever fucking shot? And you're like, some of these people haven't been in the industry in 6 years.
Exactly. Yeah.
I couldn't find them with a fucking private investigator.
Yeah. So I had to take down a bunch of my old videos because people either left. I had someone die and I have their old ID and the website was like, this ID expired. And I'm like, this person's dead. Like, I think I already took down the video at that point, but they were like, I think because I had it in like my vault or something that I had just like taken it down, but didn't realize I completely deleted it.
But you couldn't just upload the release?
No, because it was an expired ID.
Oh, you had taken an expired ID when
they died.
But at the time of shooting,
no, yeah,
it was valid.
Yeah, but
so there should be So that's
what you think. But no, websites are still. So it doesn't matter when you filmed it. They want an updated ID. So if I were to go back into any of my older videos that I haven't listed, that I have a co-performer in, and I put that I have a co-performer, it'll ask all that information and it'll expect the updated stuff when it's like that content 6-7 years old.
That's bullshit. That's absolute bullshit. I have a valid release from the time it doesn't expire. I have a valid ID from the time of signing. Fuck off.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah, but it's crazy. Yeah,
but at least you have that shit. How many fucking performers, like, if the FBI actually, because if the FBI got involved, you're good. You have a fucking valid release. You have a fucking valid ID at the time.
Oh, yeah.
If the FBI kicked in someone's fucking door and be like, yo, where's your 2257 paperwork? You'd be like, the hub said they were fine. They're a fellow performer. Like, or heaven forbid you have someone like Mia Khalifa who left the industry, is very anti-industry now. If you don't have valid 2257 for a performer like that, they could turn around and be like, take all my shit down.
And that happens still all the time.
And what are you going to do at that point? You're going to have to comply.
Yeah.
Or open yourself up to legal liability when you don't comply because you don't have a signed fucking model release. Because that's the other part of 2257 is like, you are signing away your fucking image rights.
I love when I bring like my 2257 formed and then my shared model agreement. And then I'm like, I hand them both and they're like, but it's 2257. I'm like, but you need to have a co-agreement. And they're like, I've never seen this before. And I'm like, how do you? So you don't agree where you're going to upload this stuff. You don't agree on like money. You don't agree. Like you don't have. Yeah. And that's always just turned into like really horrible instances. And I think that's just why I know I need to stay on top of that, because I've just seen so many people have really bad experiences with it.
Well, you can have horrible experiences with it.
Even signed and everything. Yeah. But shout out Sophie Latter. SophieLatter.com has like all the 2257 forms, all the model agreement releases, all that stuff. And even built into the model agreement form is an NDA. And I'm like, Sophie, you're genius. Like,
my only question is, if you're shooting outside of California or New Hampshire, will that actually hold up?
Yes, because the forms actually have it that like, it's like you fill in what state you're filming in.
Well, the thing about it is you can't have someone sign a contract for an illegal act, and pornography is only technically legal to shoot in California and New Hampshire.
I'm sorry, what?
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry, what?
So New Hampshire actually passed a law to make pornography legal.
Okay.
California is from a 1981 state Supreme Court ruling. Everywhere else in the country is technically illegal to produce pornography. You are technically committing pandering.
Oh, so it's like that whole you can't own more than 6 dildos in the state of Texas type rule. Like, oh my God, though. I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm. Nevada has a published...
yeah, what about Nevada? They
have a published opinion from the state Supreme Court that says, due to California's state Supreme Court ruling, we've chosen to consider effectively make pornography legal, but it is not on the books.
So pornography is not legal in Nevada, but like bunny ranches and stuff.
Oh, the brothel laws are wild. Do you know how crazy?
No. I know that, but I can't understand the concept that brothels are allowed, but pornography is not.
Yeah, but how restricted brothels are.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And I have a feeling part of the reason pornography wasn't legal in Nevada for quite some time was because probably the brothel lobby is like, whoa, we don't want. Pornography is not technically legal in Nevada. They're just like, I mean, our opinion is that it's legal because of the California State Supreme Court ruling. Florida, you get stories every once in a while, like Central Florida, of people getting fucking busted for shooting their own shit in their homes.
What?
Oh, yeah. Southern Florida just chooses not to fucking enforce the laws, but...
Damn. I feel like all the articles I've seen is usually people filming in public places. That's always what it comes down to. Or like the private company recognizing or being told later that porn was filmed there.
Trying to find an article from Florida that doesn't involve a CP.
Uh-oh.
Because goddamn, I just Googled Florida porn arrests, and unfortunately, a lot of
oh no,
a lot of bad shit. We'll come back to that, but I definitely saw an article like a couple of years ago of someone who was like making consensual adult content in Central Florida fucking arrested.
Whoa. So I've only heard of that I think with like Vietnam and Thailand, was that like that is actually a red flag for hotels if the people who are in the hotel room like don't ever leave or come in with like production like equipment and then don't ever leave. Like apparently your room is red flagged that like you could be a risk or whatever. But yeah, that's the only time I've ever heard like in your own room or in your own hotel room. I didn't know.
Oh yeah.
Woo.
Yeah, it's wild.
Damn.
So like shooting in Washington, you technically by the letter of the law can run afoul of it. Most of the thing is law enforcement's not enforcing it. But the problem is you can't sign a contract for an illegal act. So those contracts that NDA included may not hold up if it's not done in California or New Hampshire.
Now I'm wondering why well, maybe the lawyers have mentioned it, because on like XBiz and Exotica, whenever there's panels and like classes for all us to learn from and stuff like that, there's always like a lawyer panel, and I don't think they've ever mentioned it.
So before we got on air, we actually talked about Michael Federosi.
Yeah.
Briefly. Federosi told me years ago when I was still living in Chicago, because I wanted to like do production in Chicago. He's like, get 2257 paperwork, but if anyone demands you take down their content, because it's not legal to shoot here, you're going to have to take it down.
Wow. Because I was always told, because I know that there's issues when you film outside of the United States. I know that there's a whole issue with that when it comes to filling out forms, but whoa.
Yeah, it's absolutely wild. Like, I want to see, it's just one of those things where like, but the problem is most people you're fucking shooting with aren't aware of their rights either.
Mm-hmm,
so it's not really something that you really have to worry about, but in the grand scheme of things, if the fucking world changes and law enforcement all of a sudden becomes interested in the industry again, you may have fucking problems.
Wow.
Like on a federal level, you'll be good because you have 2257 paperwork.
100%, but
statewide, or the fact that your model release may not be able to hold up, your NDA might not be able to hold up because you're having a contract signed for something that's not a legal act.
Yeah.
As Federosi explained to me at the time, he's like, you can't make someone sign a contract for your drug deal because it's illegal.
That makes sense. Yeah.
I'm like, oh, well, ain't that about a bitch?
But yeah, I even try to explain to like normal people outside of the industry that like 2257 forms are pretty normal. Like, are you taking pictures at a party? They might come to you and ask you to sign a 2257 form so they can use your photo. Like, when you go into those private areas that have a photographer and stuff and you have to sign forms, there's probably something in that form that you signed, signing away your rights, that like you're over the age of whatever, and that like you agreed that your photo can be used in any kind of situation. And
I know, it's
people don't realize it.
I feel like it's a lot of things that go into entertainment. A lot of people just see the finished product and like, oh, that's easy. Two people fucking on film.
Oh, well, that's for sure true. Yeah.
And don't realize like everything that fucking else goes into it. It's like, oh, especially in the modern era, which I love. I fucking love this. When I was first working on sets, this definitely wasn't a thing. Like entrance interviews from major fucking studios. Like, oh, hey, we're going to have an entrance interview while you do your 2257 paperwork. And we're going to ask you, are you here of your own volition? Are you sober? Are you fucking, are you willing to do today? What aren't you willing to do today? Like all that shit. When I first started working on sets, like, here's your 2257 paperwork, bunny ears for me, let's rock and roll.
Oh.
You and the other performer figure out like boundaries and like something.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Well, that makes sense with everything that's happened, that they need to have it like on film, just all right there.
The fact that like when I was working for MindGeek last summer, like they're doing exit interviews, but not like the old. There were often some production companies that I never witnessed this myself, but I heard from other performers about exit interviews where like they'd withhold your check until you like said everything was cool.
Oh shit, that makes sense.
But the MindGeek set I was working on, like they'd hand you your fucking check and be like, okay, now we need to do the exit interview. Here's your fucking check.
Oh wow.
Like they made sure that you were paid first.
You understand that it's not like
right.
based on that. Oh, that's good. God, that'd be terrifying.
But I never witnessed it. It was never a set I worked on, but I heard about this from a bunch of performers. Like, yeah, I had to do an exit interview, but they were holding on to my check till the interview was over.
Ooh.
Even though it was not explicitly said that they wouldn't get their check if they didn't do the exit interview or didn't say everything was cool, but they felt it was implied. Like just the perception there.
Well, yeah, that would make sense though. Ooh, yeah. Damn. See, yeah, I feel like older industry like stories, yeah, that wouldn't really happen much anymore because it's been talked about so much that people can easily call that out and not feel so uncomfortable about it just because of how normalized that's been. But ooh.
Hell. It didn't become legal in California until 81. Like legal at all.
Mm-hmm.
So how many years of like the old heads when I got in were just used to being like, oh yeah, this is a criminal enterprise.
True. Yeah. Like you said, it's gotten to the point of OnlyFans and everyone can join it and everyone's doing it. And yeah, it's so easy to kind of become a sex worker in a way.
Hell, I'm sure there's a lot of people that are on OnlyFans that are sex workers now that wouldn't even consider themselves sex workers. They're like,
Oh yeah.
like the disconnects in their brain of, I'm not a sex worker. I'm just on OnlyFans.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's like a whole branch of like nurses, because I know a nurse, and then there's a whole branch of like nurses that are like proud OnlyFans and stuff like that. And I'm like, all I can think about is like, damn, like back then it'd be like, you'd be worried about your hospital finding out. You'd be worried about like your union finding, like there's so many things you'd have to be worried about that now it's like.
Well, after that New York nurse like got all that press about getting fired over it.
Oh my God, I forgot about that. Yeah.
I'm sure all the unions and hospitals are like, yeah, we don't need to be in national news over this shit. We don't need
about that.
We don't need to illustrate that we're underpaying our fucking health professionals, especially in the middle of a pandemic. So yeah, if you want to make extra money on OnlyFans, that's cool.
Damn, I forgot about that entirely. Wow.
Because at the end of the day, hospitals are for profit and they don't want the bad press.
100%. Yeah. Because your name of your hospital gets out in the news.
And you're underpaying health workers in the pandemic. Like, It's going to be a couple more years before hospitals can get away with publicly like mistreating their employees.
At least a couple years. Yeah. It's going to just be normal mistreatment. But
yeah, back to our current dystopia of mistreatment. And
it's funny because like even when I went to college like first at San Francisco State like way long ago, and then I went back, but both times I was like so worried people were going to find out I was like a sex worker. I didn't want anyone to know. And nowadays it's like I know people that are students that they're like, we've written essays where we talk about like sex work and where we talk about like OnlyFans and all that stuff. And it's amazing at the same time seeing how much things have changed in just a few years.
OnlyFans is led a revolution, just needs to keep going and a little bit better. Like you need to have a company that can attract what OnlyFans is attracting, but actually run by people who actually give a fuck what happens to people on the platform.
Oh, and then I was even going to mention when we were talking about 2257 forums, I don't think I've joined any new site that started off the site correctly, like demanding 2257 forums and doing all that right away. Because even like the sites that popped up once OnlyFans like tossed themselves down the toilet type thing, they're still not demanding 2257 forums or anything like that. And I'm like, didn't you guys learn? Like, you like I'm so confused. But
so I'm kind of I've been doing a little bit of consulting for a startup that is looking to be an OnlyFans competitor, and like part of the reason they pushed their soft launch back was one of the first calls I got on with them. I'm like, yo, where's your verification process? Where's your 2257 stuff? And the CEO is just like, yeah, we got to have that shit in place before we really launch.
Good. Oh my God. About time someone finally.
Because part of the problem is part of the people making these platforms are tech people. They're not adult industry people.
True. Oh my God. And then kind of also random, something else that I love is that like, not only do we need the like 2257 forms and we need the model arrangement form, but we also need a photo of everyone's like ID, right? So we're like, okay, everyone has that. That's pretty standard. Well, when OnlyFans like did whatever they did, it's now that you have to include all of that. And you also have to include a photo of you holding the ID next to your face.
Yeah, bunny ears.
Yeah. So that became like a new, like, great, we have to now contact everyone to get that photo. And then it's like after that one, I think Fansly or some other site, maybe it's Loyal Fans or something, that their thing is now that like you have to be holding your ID next to your face while you're holding a piece of paper that says your name, the date, and what website you're joining. And it's like everyone's just taking it an extra level farther. I feel like so we have to backtrack, or like we have to, like we either have to take the time and all the effort to backtrack, or we have to make so much new content in order to keep up. That like, yeah, so
it's wild.
It's interesting.
I mean, the bunny ears, like, because I come from set that's been practiced on set forever. Someone
really?
holding that's why it's called bunny ears, because you hold your two forms of IDs next to your head.
Oh, I thought I don't even know why I thought you meant bunny ears just being cute, like thing.
No,
I didn't even realize you meant like that.
Yep.
Duh.
Yeah, that is old school set
Oh my
practice.
God, I gotta steal that. Bunny ears.
Yeah,
I gotta get your bunny ears. Oh my God.
That is old school set
so cute.
set slang. I can talk.
Love it.
Forever. Like, so like that's been happening forever. Like whenever I PA, like I'm getting everyone's paperwork, like, all right, time for bunny ears, get them on my phone, boom, send it to the director. Like that's all a part of
bunny ears. Love it. Okay.
So like,
see, I feel like I'm such a noob because I joined sex work as a survival sex worker, and then I just started collaborating with other people. I started in 2019. So I'm like, when people tell me stories, I'm like, oh shit, this is a whole other world I didn't even know. Like, yeah. But oh, cool.
That's part of the problem with that there is no porno 101. And if you're definitely part of the OnlyFans revolution, how much time have you spent on a commercial set?
Yeah. And then there's also even before the pandemic, there was like sex workers that would sell like a Sex Worker 101 intro guide. Like you get a bunch of information, like all the knowledge that they've learned over the years. So you know what I mean? You'd pay a certain amount, join their class and do all that.
Even with those kind of classes, you have to know they exist to be able to take them. It's not like, oh, welcome to OnlyFans. Here's your onboarding videos.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Like if you sign up to be a YouTube creator, there are so many tutorial videos made by YouTube.
Through YouTube, yeah, exactly.
Like best practices as a YouTube creator. Why is that shit not standard for many vids? Like I know a lot of people, like I don't know if it's gotten better, but it was either many vids or clips for sale back in the day. Like their UI was so obtuse that people would make money running people's clip for sale stores because the performers just didn't know how to use them properly.
So yeah, that's definitely still clips for sales. I actually still don't even have a clips for sales site because my brain literally breaks every time I go to the main site just because it's so 90s that my brain's like trying to go back to that. And it's like, I can't do it. No, not at all. But yeah, the format of that is still pretty 90s, but I don't know. The ManyVids format's just getting worse and worse. But like how you said, there's not even like a sex worker 101. There's not even like here's how you use this like adult website. And this is where you find all this stuff. Like the sex workers ourselves, we have to make those like websites in order to get fans. And then a lot of people don't want to put those out because then you're going to learn how to use other people's sites more. So it just becomes a whole thing.
I'm going to make a whole tutorial series and just put them on all the major sites.
Like, right? Yeah.
Matt Slater's OnlyFans is just tutorial videos on how to use OnlyFans.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But that's what I was talking about. That like ever since the pandemic, it's like there's sex workers who joined in the pandemic and they're now even selling like their information and stuff because it's like a lot of people are like, that's too recent. And it's like at the same time, it's like COVID has felt like 5 years. And it's also like you had to learn so much. And like, yeah, so I can understand why people are just.
And you had nothing but time on your hands.
Exactly. Yeah. And if you just learned so much information, why would you not want to share it? But
I mean, for fuck's sake, I barely knew how to use After Effects going into fucking COVID. Like I taught myself. So my editing game has gotten so exponentially better during COVID because all I did is sit around and make content. Like pre-COVID, like all I did, editing wise was like edit podcasts and shit like that. Like I was a competent audio editor and video. Like these aren't hard video edits. Like I'm going to select which camera whoever's talking on. I may do some basic color correction. I may like punch in the shot a little bit depending on how it's looking when I'm doing it in post. That's it. Now, like, I learned how to do a lot of stuff with chroma keying. I learned a bunch of stuff in After Effects. Like, I just spent like the whole pandemic, like, oh, well, I'm gonna Twitch stream. Well, I'm gonna make video game content. I'm gonna like. So it makes perfect sense to me that people who just got in during the pandemic absorbed everything.
Exactly.
And hell, don't have the biases of being a sex worker pre-pandemic of like, no, but this is how it should be.
Yeah. Or like not having to live your normal life while doing sex work. It's like, yeah, the people that got to focus 24/7 on this, like that'd be really interesting to learn from them. Like,
as I said at the beginning of this podcast, we as a species are very adaptable, but very stuck in our ways. Mm-hmm. So if you've been doing this a long time, you may not feel the need to adapt. Where someone who lost their fucking bartending job and had no choice.
Exactly.
And was getting fuck all from unemployment because they lived on tips and didn't declare most of their tips because how many servers actually declare their fucking tips?
You'd get fucked.
Right. So they're just like, oh, well, I got no choice. They're essentially in survival sex work, but they have the time to absorb fucking everything.
Yeah. Yeah. Like my husband is actually joining sex work and he's officially joining next month. But like his own sites, his own content and all that stuff.
You happy it turned him out?
Yeah. So happy. Yeah. He's been really supportive of like my career and everything. And like just with prices going up, inflation and all that, less hours and all that stuff. We got to bring in a second job. So we're like, might as well bring in something that like would just add to like what I'm doing too.
It'd be wild if that becomes the first job.
Oh my God. Yeah. That's the goal somehow, if that could. But at the same time, we're using his job for health insurance because that's also a problem in the industry is that there's no industry-wide healthcare or anything like that. Obviously.
I mean, that is one beautiful part about California is like you can sign up for pretty affordable healthcare through Covered California.
True. Yes. Yeah. Even Washington State has pretty good. Yeah. But yeah. So we have health insurance through him. But yeah, he's joining sex work and he's just been listening in on all the expos because like expos since the pandemic are now online and like all the classes are online and stuff. So he just hears them and he's like, oh yeah, these are good points. And I'm like, see, you're already coming into the industry more knowledgeable than I came in because I joined 2013. So when I started collaborating in 2019, I was learning stuff from people who like just joined the industry in the last 3 to 6 months because all their focus was that. So it's like, yeah, it's amazing what you can do when all your attention goes to that.
What's wild to me, like just thinking about this now, like this thought has never crossed my mind until this moment is like AVN expos have so many like the business end of this business panels that are generally happening during like normal show hours where like your typical performer is signing autographs during these fucking panels, not allowing them to fucking attend these and learn more about their fucking business because the old school model is, well, if you're a performer, you don't need to know shit about the business end of this.
Exactly. Yeah, that's definitely how Exotica is. It's like all the models are out and all the like newer people or non-industry people are in there. But I think that's why I like XBiz so much is that they don't have any other events going on industry related, but those are the times when everyone's like collaborating. And then when I'm going to all the sessions and then I look later and I'm like, I missed out on all the cute photos and all that stuff. Photos earlier. And I'm like, why did I miss them? Oh, because I was in the classes because everyone else skips them.
Well, XBiz is still industry only. Exotica is a fan convention.
Oh, yeah. I just meant like, yeah, at least there's no other events going on at the same time.
AVN, which is both, generally people are stuck at the fucking booth.
Well, Exotica's even both. They have classes too. And
yeah, they definitely do. But I mean, except for a couple of legal panels, a lot of them are just like performers anecdotally telling stories about.
Oh, really? Oh, I hadn't. My next goal for the next Exotica was to start going to those panels. But I thought it was going to be like.
I mean, some of them are definitely informative
and stuff.
Yeah, some of them are definitely. Traditionally, I mean, Federosi's not in the States right now, but traditionally over the years, Federosi had legal panels during Exotica, but a lot of it was performers talking about like their experiences and shit like that. And like, I got to hear Mr. Pete years ago tell his like first scene story, like at one of those panels. Like talking about
that would be cool. Never mind.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool shit, but it's not necessarily like shit
educational.
That like, it's like, oh, this is interesting. Like he's talking about what it takes to be male talent in the industry, where like his first scene was with someone, I don't mean to steal Pete's story, but he was talking about someone like his first scene was with a GILF and she asked him if she should leave her teeth in for the scene or not.
Oh, fuck, that's hot. Oh my God, that's hot.
So he's, laying it down like, yo, just because you get to watch me bang like A-list fucking talent these days, you don't start there.
Oh my God, I love that. Hey, that's a fetish in itself.
For sure. But it's not everyone's fetish.
Oh, no, I know. Yeah.
It's definitely not everyone's fetish. Oh, and to circle back to what we were talking about earlier, apparently this article is much older than I thought. Jesus Christ, I've been in this industry too long. But Lakeland's TheLedger.com reported that Teresa Taylor, a.k.a. Kimberly Cups, 55, and her husband, Warren Taylor, 58, were arrested Friday night after a 3-month investigation into adult content the couple allegedly produced in their Lakeland, Wales home in Florida. During the investigation, a detective paid $19.95 to access KimberlyCups.com, which features videos of Teresa having sex with a variety of partners and offering them to sell clothes from her scenes. The videos were uploaded and hosted by ClipsForSale.com, a major hub for amateur porn.
And that's it? Oh my God, there's nothing illegal in that.
But it was in Florida.
Wow. Interesting.
That was the exact case I was thinking of. But apparently that was from 2011.
Interesting.
But that's the thing. Law enforcement decided to take a fucking interest.
Yeah. Well, like I remember there's a sex worker last year that got caught filming public porn, I think in like North Carolina or South Carolina or somewhere. And then everyone just started sending me that link and was like, did you see this? Don't do public porn anymore. And I'm like, oh shit. Like, so like a bunch of people were like, oh crap, are we really not able to do this anymore? And then it was like,
and in reality, you've never been able to do it.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. We were like, is this like, are they gonna start looking at things differently now type thing? But
that was in the privacy of their own fucking homes.
Yeah, that's crazy. Wow.
If the winds of change come, you may be fucked.
Yeah, unless you're in California or New Hampshire.
And you have the line, fucking T's crossed, your I's dotted.
Damn. Interesting. All we need is one thing to go to shit.
Yeah, like all you need is some local fucking district attorney who's got nothing better to do. Like they're in some, suburb outside of Tampa. So their district attorney probably had nothing better. He probably rubbed one out to her like, hey, I recognize that house.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Like I've seen her at my fucking local Kroger or some shit.
Huh. Interesting. Okay. But now I'm wondering how, like, I don't know. I've seen tons of like public porn and other porn filmed in like New York City, but I guess they have other things to worry about. So
it's one of those things. It's not being enforced. That's why, like, back in the day, that's 100% like we're on the deal. Hell, I don't know what happens because I don't think any fucking production company actually checks in with Film LA. What happens if like they start kicking indoors for lack of film permits?
Yeah. Huh.
Like, I do not know the legality of what the film permit stuff is for shooting in your own home. Technically, are we committing a crime right now?
I was just about to
filming this podcast for not having a film permit in Los Angeles.
Huh. Or I wonder if it's like a weird legality that it's like you can have up to like 2 or 3 cameras, but any more or like.
Yeah, but a lot of major productions just have one big camera.
Yeah. Huh.
I'm actually curious if we're committing a crime right now. I'm going to Google it.
I'm like trying to think of in like a fire standard way.
The caption says, "Do I need to film a permit to film in Hollywood?" Yes, yes, and yes.
Oh.
I need to look at how many crimes I'm like.
Would every episode?
Because of this, according to this website, since YouTube is considered commercial, you would require a permit. Making a YouTube video, student and nonprofit productions also require a permit, though they may qualify for a special lower rate.
Whoa. So you'd have to apply for a permit to.
Like, I need to look at Film LA and see what crimes are committed by making this fucking podcast.
Oh my God. Whoa.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, they don't have the resources to
but that's what I mean, that it's like, okay, in reality, who would really do
spend the time to enforce it?
But it's like, so does it take one angry neighbor to report it to your building, to report it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like what's the tipping point? Like, at what point are they going to do something?
Right. Well, and the thing about it is, I don't know who does enforcement for it, because at the end of the day, if LAPD is the one who's responsible for enforcing it, I'm not worried. Literally, during the pandemic, my downstairs neighbor was a music producer and was rattling my floors with his music at points.
Oh my God.
And I had to get the police involved, and I definitely had one cop being like, "You live in the city, you should expect this shit." I'm like, motherfucker.
No, you shouldn't. What?
He's rattling my floors, and I'm doing audio production. He is literally interfering with my ability to do work.
Whoa. And then I wonder if, sorry to bring it all back to COVID, but like, I know when COVID happened, so many departments closed or were backlogged. And it's like, so how many of these people that now had to work from home and had to turn their like part of their home into studios wanted to apply for these permits, but because of the back order, like,
I don't think there is a single podcast in Los Angeles that is actually getting film permits. Could you imagine the cost? Like,
even like, there's tons of YouTube channels in
Yeah.
LA that there's no way they all have permits.
No.
Like, wow.
I'm actually curious.
It's going to be like that whole Texas dildo law. It's a law, but not
I'm
enforced.
curious for filmmakers, like, obtain a film permit.
Or maybe it's like, if you have a moving camera, you might need.
Laws regarding film permits are established by the jurisdiction that Film LA serves. Please contact Film LA if you have questions about whether a permit is required for a specific project. Generally speaking, non-commercial filming, personal use does not require a film permit, but YouTube is considered commercial.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. And to get a permit, you have to provide proof of insurance.
Oh my God.
And you have to purchase workers' comp, too, in case someone's fucking injured.
Oh, we just went down a whole rabbit hole.
Well, I mean, I don't-
need to snip this more. Oh,
This is a
that's
thing I've talked about
crazy.
on air before that I'm not sure you're aware of. But under California agency law, if a film set is underinsured, your agent has to provide workers' comp insurance for their or for their clients.
Good.
But most performers don't know that shit.
Oh. Damn. Damn.
I mean, thankfully in porn, the likelihood of onset injury is pretty low. Most things are not like doing crazy stunts or car chases and shit like that.
Yeah, I'm like the pains we get are like chiropractor, massage type, like.
But if you fucking tore something on set,
Oh yeah, no.
technically you might be able to file a workers' comp claim.
I know, yeah. When I got into my last car accident, they were like, was this for work or for home? Or like, was this for work purposes? And I mean, technically, I was like driving my way to go film something real quick. And then I was going to like come back and do something. And I was even like, I was going to, and I think it was just because of the car accident. I was like, no, it wasn't work purposes. It was just me taking a walk. And they were like, oh, okay. Well, like,
The thing about it is, if it had been for work purposes, you're not carrying workers' comp insurance, right?
yeah, no, yeah, exactly.
Your personal insurance might have been like, we're denying her claim. She was at work.
Yeah. Ooh.
You may have just, saved yourself a major fucking.
Seriously, though. Ooh.
It's super fucked up because where porn, even commercial porn sets, are still weirdly running afoul of the law is you can't be an independent contractor and be a porn performer if you're on set. Technically, you're an employee of the production.
Yeah, you have to.
You have to actually be W-2'd by the letter of the law.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where you fall under the workers' comp insurance, all that fun shit.
Yeah.
This is why, like, most major film productions start an individual LLC for each production.
Oh, I was wondering why they had so many separate ones. That makes sense.
It's to keep the books clear. It's to...
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
This is where, technically, with all the AB5 shit, it runs weirdly afoul. Are you up on California in an attempt to fuck the rideshare and app companies past
that one.
past AB5? But that technically
that's what it was
negatively affected porn performers as well, because you technically can't be an independent contractor under how it was codified.
Oh.
That's why there was the big push of everyone getting their own LLCs, getting their own corporations to try to skirt the law.
Oh.
But technically, by the letter of the law, every performer on every fucking set should be a fucking employee of that production.
Wow. So you need to have those W-2s.
Right, but at the end of the day, no porn production wants to pay someone fucking unemployment insurance.
Wow. And it's like, can you file for unemployment just because you haven't worked a couple months for that studio?
I mean,
type
I know
thing, or-
union set dressers that do.
Whoa.
Like they're on a project for a couple weeks,
No, that does make sense though, especially if you're signed out to a production company and stuff like that.
but they're W-2 employees for like
whoa.
like a friend of mine worked as a set dresser for Captain Marvel, and like after that wrapped, she went and filed for fucking employment.
Wow.
Till she got her next gig.
Oh, I didn't know that's how it worked. Wow.
So like porn's running renegade style like that anyways. And also I don't think a single fucking porn production is bothering to get film permits through fucking Film LA.
Even like big production studios?
As far as I know, like I've never been on that end of the production where like I would have to set up permits or do insurance. That's above my fucking pay grade. So I could be completely wrong about that. Please don't come at me for this.
We're just talking.
I'm just spitballing. I am saying I've been drinking. I say things that sometimes are real, sometimes aren't.
I'm curious. I'm picking apart his head. Don't mind me.
This is where porn continues to be a renegade fucking industry, because 100% the content you shot today is for commercial use.
Yeah.
You guys did not get a permit.
Yeah.
There was no insurance on that fucking.
Wow.
So technically, you were in violation of the law. Whoops.
Damn, and I thought only my public content was man, hold up. You're telling me now my public content's fucked. No, damn. Whew. I'm restarting my whole career. Every video's gone, guys.
It's a misdemeanor offense to film without a permit. If caught, your film will be shut down and may be subject to significant fines and costly court appearances.
But then, okay, so is it a misdemeanor?
You may be subject to arrest and equipment confiscation.
Oh, okay. Is it per film, though?
Uh-huh.
Oh.
I mean, that's what Film LA said.
So at what point, how many misdemeanors, how many videos?
So it's been 2 years, in 2011, it's been 2 years since the Los Angeles Police Department film permit enforcement powers were clarified under a revised special events ordinance. Passed into law in the fall of 2009, the ordinance revised section, blah, 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 makes it a misdemeanor offense for production companies to film without a permit or engage in activities not covered by their permits.
Wow.
Since the ordinance passed, the LAPD's contract services section film unit has made arrests and filed charges against film productions for violations. As recently as last week, LAPD unit arrested filmmakers for such offense. In addition to arrest and fine, the LAPD may confiscate filming equipment until a court hearing.
Damn. So looks like we're all going to start filming our porn in international waters on boats.
Right? I'd be fucking damned if the LAPD shows up here and like, yo, we're confiscating your camera equipment for some of your filming in your fucking apartment. I'd be like, warrant. Would be the first thing I would say, warrant.
Yeah. But that's where I'm like, I really wonder how much it takes. Like, is it just one angry neighbor? Is it
I don't know.
Building?
But it also could be one of those things like if you're shooting in a hotel, if the hotel's going to evict you from the room, if they catch, suspect you shooting porn, evict you from the room, and then call LAPD for you filming without a permit.
Ooh, my hotel could definitely do that because I know that the housekeepers were walking by when they heard like moaning earlier. And like,
well, I mean, you're allowed to have sex in rooms.
Oh no, but like there was also another point later where like someone opened the door and one of that same like housekeeper looked into the room and there were like lights and stuff. And we're like, oh, that was way too obvious.
I mean, you could definitely claim in the moment that it was for personal use.
Oh, no, 100%. And then that's what other people mentioned. They were like, you could be taking pictures of your clothes because you're a fashion designer. You could literally be doing anything.
You could literally be making a sex tape for yourself. It's the commercial use end of it.
Oh my God, I did. Okay. So filming some home
right.
sex stuff.
Right. Me and my husband get off on this shit. Or me and my...
You have like 4K cameras and like all these like umbrella lights. And it's like, this is just for home. Don't worry.
We get off on this shit. We just like high production value. What?
We like being able to double click and see the clarity, no big deal.
Right? Like you'd have to...
You gotta be quick on your feet.
After the fact, I mean, you're out of state. So the likelihood of...
Oh, yeah.
Them coming after you is pretty low. But someone like me, I filmed this weekend and week out, same location in Los Angeles.
Yeah. Oh my God. So I kind of have a story for that one.
Okay.
So when I went to Exotica, New Jersey in 2019, me and another model I will not name decided to film public porn. And we're like, cool, okay, whatever, we'll film it. Well, we're dummies and went by some train tracks that we shouldn't have been by. And Amtrak called the police on us. And so we're both naked on our backs, fucking ourselves with dildos. And I see in the camera that we're looking at, I'm like, is that someone moving behind us? And all of a sudden we see two people and I'm like, those are cops. And then we see sirens coming up from in front of us. And all of a sudden, like 3 cop cars swarm us. And we're like, because we're a little bit of a walk, we start like throwing clothes on. And like I shove both our dildos in my like jean shorts. I have like a crop top on and my tits are hanging out. And I'm like, this is the day I'm going to jail. This is the day that like it's just done. I have no idea how I think just because we were so like quick thinking on our feet that they were just like, what are you guys doing here? And we were like, we just wanted to spend time together. And then they were just, so long story short, they so the cops were called on us because apparently
Trespassing or?
kind of, but that wasn't actually Amtrak's concern. That point in the like Amtrak railway, apparently really sad part, is where a lot of people go to like kill themselves. And we didn't know that or anything. So the cops came being like, you guys are from out of state. Did you come here meeting to like for a pact or something? Like, why did you come here and you're out of state? And then like they couldn't get over that. And we were like, we weren't doing like, that's not what we were doing. We're so sorry we were around here. We're from out of state. We don't know anything about this. And like, so we were like, oh my God, they're gonna like fuck us over for us fucking ourselves. And like, they're actually really concerned for our well-being and like safety and stuff. And like, yeah, but
I almost think you should have done the gamble. Like, officer, just look on the camera.
I know, right? But yeah, somehow they like,
We want to live, officer. We want to live.
right? They didn't like question any of the like equipment we had with us though. It was really weird. And then they were even like, so we took your names down. If you get pulled over by another cop while you're here, you're going to get taken in. Like, this is your one warning type thing. And we were like, okay, we won't do anything. But like, we got put in the back of a cop car. We got brought back to like our car. And like, they like made sure that we left the area. And like, yeah, best part, filmed almost the whole thing. So I even was able to film as the cops were like bringing us back to their car. I don't know why I decided to like flip around as I was holding the camera so you can see all 6 cop cars coming for us that were parked there.
Did you get 2257 paperwork from all of them?
Right? Now I'm like, I have to make sure to blur all your faces, blur all of it to make sure I don't need
Alter
to
their voices.
forms. I did do that. Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. Altered that and like, oh my God. But yeah, I was even like, I think we were joking around about that. We were like, should we have asked them for 2257s? Should we have asked for their IDs? Like,
officers, we need to see all your IDs and badge numbers.
Yeah.
Have them bunny ears with their badge and their fucking ID.
Oh my God, that'd be so perfect. Oh my God. Yeah. So because like I film a lot of public porn and stuff. So a lot of people ask me like, have you ever been caught by the cops? And I'm like, once. And it's a horrible, great story.
You should have just gone wild with them. Be like, yo, any of you got a clean test?
I know.
Officer?
Honestly, I think if they didn't, like, it's really a sad reason why they came out. I think if they didn't go down that corner, like, or down that road, we might have, like, said something. Because I think even, like, as they left, we're like, so do you want to come with us later? Like, what's up? Like, 4 of you guys, 2 of us. Like, let's go.
The holes match up. Come on.
I know, right? Do you realize how much we could sell this for? Like,
It may ruin your career, but I mean, their career, not your career. But
right? Yeah.
But that's not my problem, officer.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I love getting people to film in their uniforms.
Has that happened often?
A fireman filmed in his, like, jumpsuit or whatever. Yeah. Yeah. I had a fireman do that. I had a doctor with his scrubs and like his jacket, but I had to take that down because he asked me to. And then
How long after did he ask you to take that?
I know 4 months or 4 days. What was that? 4 days. No, that was actually 3 years. And that was because 2 of his coworkers found it and like were like threatening to like report him type thing.
What shitbag
So, like,
fucking coworkers?
I know, right? Yeah. I was like,
I was expecting you to be like, he was about to get married and he decided that.
right. Yeah. That's usually the circumstances that it's like people's wives or girlfriends want content taken down. And I'm like, I totally get that. But nope.
Well, stop marrying prudes, people.
I know, right? Or it's like, just understand that like you just need some fun.
Well, just understand, I have fucked other people before you.
Right.
Like, this isn't Everest. I am not Everest. Lots of people have climbed. Lots.
Hell yes.
You're not planting a fucking flag here.
Yeah. But I think it's pretty cute, honestly, when girlfriends or wives hit me up and are like, I'd appreciate if they can get their stuff taken down. Cause I don't know. I'm like, whatever, half the time anyways. But then I'm always just like, I don't know. My mind is like, damn, you're letting this person run your life that way. Like, I understand if like a guy were to ask me to do it and be like, hey, you know, I'm getting married and all that stuff. But when it's like the other person, I'm like, oh, okay. Good luck.
Yeah, that
Damn.
is so fucking lame.
Yeah. But then there's also those cute couples that like, sometimes there's couples that'll get like a Skype date from me. So like they'll like be together and they'll want to have a Skype date with me. So like.
But is it ever an ex-scene partner that's done that?
A what?
An ex-scene partner?
Oh, no.
Because that'd be wild. Like, oh yeah. So my girl liked our scene together. So can we have a threesome Skype date?
That would be pretty amazing. But it's more of like couples want like how to be able to talk to each other better and how to be able to have a better sex life. And like it's usually about like they need to communicate better and be honest and stuff like that. But yeah, it's cute.
It's sad and dysfunctional.
True. But then it's also cute that sometimes they just need like, it's more cute when they just need that little shove and then you see them in the next date and they're like all over each other, like so happy. And it's like, see, this is what you needed. But then I've also had Skype dates where they did that. And then the next Skype date, they were like, yeah, she left and I haven't seen her. And I'm like, oh, yeah. Communication and honesty is key.
That's good. The trash saw itself out in that situation.
True. That is true.
Do you really want to spend the next 10, 20 years with someone who's like, oh, we're sexually incompatible, but we're here because, we were here before?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Nope. Gotta have fun with it.
This isn't 1920. You ain't stuck with the first person you stuck it in.
Right. Yeah. That's why, yeah. Relationship with my husband, we were like just one-on-one for so long. And now we're like, we've been together for long enough. Let's go have some fun. Like, let's just see what else we can get into together.
Fucking healthy. That's how it should be.
Oh, yeah.
As long as everyone's happy with it, like, fuck yeah.
Hell yeah. I even told him, like, my favorites is when I get to make out with him in someone else's holes. So much fun.
Fuck yeah. That's fucking awesome.
Right.
What always bothers me is, like, the couples that, like, start to go play with other people, but it's only one partner that really wants to do it and the other one's just going along with it. That's the fucking worst.
Yep. Yeah. It's so awkward, too, because it's like, are you being forced to do this? Do you like this?
Like, are you just trying to salvage your relationship and you're like, oh, this will make the other person happy? Like, if you're not down, say you're not down.
Yeah, don't force yourself to do things you're going to later regret.
Or resent them for shit.
True. Oh, God, I didn't even think of that. Yeah. You give your okay and then you resent them for it. Yeah.
Yeah, people do that shit.
Oh, God. No, we need supportive, honest relationships.
Right. Like, if you're not down, just say you're not down.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
Right?
Nothing wrong at all.
Not everyone has to be down with the freaky deaky. It's cool.
Not everyone wants a fish shoved up their ass, you know? Like
this guy right here, no fish.
Same here. My ass is so tight.
I got them Jewish guts. Like, yeah,
Ever gotten a finger?
I have not. Yeah, once again, like, have some digestive problems.
Oh,
like,
I didn't hear that until okay. Yeah, no, stay clear.
Yeah. Like, you ever want to watch my asshole clench real fast? Get a finger near my butt cheek, just pa-ching! You'll lose that motherfucker if you're not careful.
Oh no!
It'll be like a fucking mousetrap. It'll take it clean off.
Oh my God, makes sense though.
Yeah, just history of digestive problems. It was just like nah. No one's gonna be happy with this outcome. And we're definitely not doing that if it's my bed.
Oh, yeah.
Like, if you get me fucked up enough and, like, you try to go for it, it better be in your bed because I am not cleaning up the fucking aftermath of this.
Oh, God, yeah. That would... Ooh. I think I totally get it, though, because I didn't really have any kind of digestive issues until, like, a few months ago because of, like, medication, like, wrong mixes and stuff. But like, I think it was like the second week of dealing with digestive issues that I was like, oh, I get why. Like, no, don't get close to my butt. Don't touch it. Like, not even a cute spank. Not even that. Get away from me. No. Like, I get it.
No, just let's. Pretty much everything else goes. Just, like, I just don't feel like this is going to be a sexy outcome for us. I could be wrong, but I don't want to take.
I was going to say,
not willing to make that gamble.
Yeah, and then there's me, who apparently I love anal, or I can come faster from anal stimulation than like vaginal or clit, which doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, the science isn't there on that.
I know. Yeah, I don't get it at all. Yeah, you just shove something in my ass and.
But not a fish.
Not a fish. Unless it's a fish-shaped dildo. I mean, maybe.
But then you can't film it.
Oh, God. Yeah, some sites. See? Yep. Oh, my God. Yeah. Then there's like monster dildos that are just like completely banned. And then, of course, those animal dildos that are
That
banned.
would be hilarious, though, if like you did fuck yourself with one of those, like a bad dragon toy, and then spent the time in like After Effects to motion track a normal fucking dildo over it.
Oh, my God. Now I'm like, there has to be a way to.
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, that would be fairly simple motion tracking.
I'm even more thinking of like easy on Snapchat. You could even just like, because there's a tracking thing that like, yeah, you can pin on it. Oh my God, that'd be hilarious.
Just like use one of those crazy toys and then like really obviously fucking like don't even be subtle about it.
Yes. Like a cartoon dick even. I want to do that because I've never gotten like an animal dildo before. I just started getting like those dragon dildos like a year ago or so. I got my first horse dick. I even bought it and I still don't even feel comfortable with myself that I bought it. But I'm like, whenever I use that, now I'm like, I want to tag a little fake cartoon dick over it just to be like, this is a real dick. It's fine.
100%. Just go into After Effects, use the motion tracking tools.
Perfect. Oh my God, I totally want to now.
I mean, I would suggest being ridiculously obvious about it. Like when it penetrates you, like not even like cut off the penetration. So like say this is like your butt cheek and the dildo would normally be going like the overlays just.
The dick goes like over. Oh my God, that'd be so perfect. I have to do this now. Oh my God.
It's super not hard to do in After
First
Effects.
video with my horse dick. I will definitely do this.
Yeah, just like some versions are here, some versions.
Oh yeah, yes. The real version is up here. It's like $50 or $100 in every other version.
Oh, dude, I mean, you could really actually like motion track the text. So like the real version is and put the URL on the fucking cartoon dick.
Oh my God, yes.
See, here I go giving away gold on the internet.
Damn, yes. Thank you. Keep giving. I need notes. I need.
Oh my God! Thank God we recorded it.
How did I forget? Too bad. Like earlier, I was starting to like look for my notepad, and I was like, "Wait, this is recorded. I could listen to this later."
Yeah, it will be published on the internet for as many replays as you like. Please replay it often. I can use the extra downloads.
Perfect.
But it's about that time we're going to call last call on this motherfucker.
Oh, well, thank you for having me.
My pleasure.
As
But
I open up my second computer.
Before we get out of here, where can they find you on the things?
On the things. So I'm on Clip Site-wise. I'm on ManyVids. Kezia 420, KEZIA 420. That's it for Clip Sites, though. I need to join others. But Tube Sites, Pornhub, Xvids, social media, Twitter, Instagram. Yeah, Instagram.
Well, don't make them Google it. Tell them.
Well, because that's what I was actually going to say. So Instagram, it used to just be Kezia Slater, but because Instagram takes down sex workers, all the sex workers have to either add XXX or 6969 or something else.
Which makes it worse, I think.
Yeah, because it makes it, most people I think have changed to either official or the real.
My favorite is, not to interrupt you, my favorite is Molly Stewart's, who is this redhead is safe for work.
Oh my God, yes. Oh, that's such a good one. See, my Instagram name is totally not Kezia. Because I think I was just so frustrated by like the 4th delete in a week that I was like, fine, bitches. Because there's another sex worker that I think their name is like not like, yeah. And yeah. But yeah, so that's my Instagram. And then other social media, Kezia 420. Yeah. Haven't gotten banned anywhere else, luckily.
Bravo. And hopefully it stays that way.
Oh my God. I love that I heard the fire alarm. And I think just because we've been talking 90s so much, I thought I heard dial up. And I was like, where do you have a dial-up computer? What's happening right now?
We're actually in the Matrix. Sorry.
Oh, perfect. Okay, that's where we are.
But as always, you can find me at Matt_Slayer on Twitter, Matt Slayer on Instagram, Matt F. and Slayer on Facebook, twitch.tv/Matt F. and Slayer. You can find the Patreon at patreon.com/Matt Slayer, where the uncensored versions of the video episodes are there. The whole video back catalog is there. So, check that out. And as always, you can find the podcast at Now We Drink on Twitter and Now We Drink on Instagram. And until next week, drink up, motherfuckers.
Yay. Thanks so much.